If you think all kisses are the same, think again. Because when you kiss a man like this, his body freezes, his guard drops, and something ancient in him surrenders. This isn't about technique, it's about power. And most women have no idea they're holding the key to it. There's a kind of kiss that doesn't just touch his lips, it reaches straight into his soul. It breaks through the armor he's spent a lifetime building and makes him feel something he won't even admit he craves. Today we're diving into the 6 kiss triggers that make even the strongest man go weak, and why the way you kiss can awaken a hunger deeper than desire. There's a sacred moment that exists just before the kiss, a breath suspended between 2 souls. It's not just silence, it's pressure, it's electricity. It's the gathering storm before the sky cracks open. Most people rush through this moment, mistaking impatience for passion. But the woman who understands the pause before the kiss, the deliberate slowing down of time, holds a power far beyond physical attraction. She doesn't pounce, she doesn't lean in desperately. She waits. She lets him feel the gravity of her presence. And in doing so, she awakens something primal in him. Men are taught to be in control, to lead, to initiate. But when a woman controls time, when she slows the rhythm and forces stillness into the moment, he doesn't know what to do with himself. He begins to feel pulled rather than pushing forward. It creates a delicious sense of vulnerability inside him, one he rarely allows himself to feel. That pause makes him question whether he is ready, whether he can handle what's about to happen. And that slight sense of hesitation, born not from fear but from reverence, makes him weak in the best way. Why does this work so powerfully? Because anticipation is the amplifier of desire. In neuroscience, delayed gratification heightens dopamine release, but this isn't about science. It's about sensation. The space between 2 people's lips, the heat of breath exchanged but not touched, the tension that builds when a kiss is not yet taken, it stirs the mind and body in unison. And in that charged silence, you are speaking to him without words. You are saying, I'm not just here to kiss you, I'm here to choose you, to disarm you, to make this unforgettable. That pause isn't just empty space, it's filled with intention. A woman who pauses doesn't do so passively. Her eyes are locked on his. Her energy is still but bold. She leans in just enough to let him feel the closeness of her, but not enough to give him full access. She hovers, teases. Breaths become shallow, pupils dilate, the world quiets, and he is trapped between craving and uncertainty. He wonders, is she going to kiss me? Is this really happening? Am I the one being led right now? And this reversal where the man becomes the one who's pulled in is incredibly arousing to him, not just physically, but emotionally, because a kiss that is given too easily might feel good in the moment, but it fades quickly. A kiss that is earned through tension, through restraint, through the dance of silence and proximity, that lingers, it imprints, it marks him. And the woman who understands this becomes unforgettable in his memory. What's even more powerful is how this pause reveals you. A woman who can pause before the kiss is a woman who is comfortable in her own body, her own energy, her own ability to hold emotional tension. She doesn't rush to prove herself. She doesn't kiss to win approval. She kisses when she feels the time is right. That confidence radiates, and for a man, that level of self-possession is intoxicating. It tells him that she is not like the others. She is not trying to impress him. She is inviting him into an experience he'll never forget. There's also something incredibly masculine about the energy a woman holds in this kind of pause, not in terms of gender roles, but in terms of polarity. She becomes the mountain, steady and unmoving. He becomes the river, flowing toward her. This switch in dynamic throws him off balance in the best possible way. He's used to being the one who initiates, the one who claims, but here she holds the reins, and yet it's done so softly, so gracefully, that he doesn't resist. He melts into it. This moment becomes more than just a kiss. It becomes a test of presence. Because the man who is worth kissing, worth loving, worth being with, is the man who can handle that pause, who can sit in the tension without fumbling, without getting nervous, without trying to break it with a joke or a rushed move. If he can stay grounded in that pause with you, if he can feel what you're feeling and meet it with presence, then the kiss that follows will not just be physical, it will be. And here's the secret. The kiss is already happening before the lips meet. The kiss begins with the eyes, with the slow lean in, with the tilt of the head, with the way you brush your lips near his but don't land. Every millimeter of movement becomes part of the symphony. You aren't just touching skin. You are awakening memory, emotion, longing. You are pressing into a part of him that rarely gets touched, the part that yearns to be seen, not just desired. So many women think seduction is about motion. But true seduction is often about stillness, about withholding, about knowing that when you finally do kiss him, it will feel like the breaking of a dam he didn't even know was holding back a flood. And once you understand the pause, you'll never kiss the same way again, because you'll realize you don't need to rush. You are the rush. When you pause, you give him the gift of mystery. You invite him into a space where he's no longer just a man trying to get to the kiss. He's a man being invited into a moment that feels suspended in eternity. And that is where the magic lives. Not in the kiss itself, but in the breathless, aching, soul-gripping moment before it. The moment where his mind screams, "Kiss her." His body leans in, and you just wait. That's the moment he goes weak. Not because you took his strength, but because you made him feel something deeper than control. You made him feel wonder. There's a delicate, almost mystical dance hidden within the kiss that leads, then surrenders. It's not choreography, it's not a routine. It's a pulse, a rhythm between two energies. And the woman who understands this rhythm doesn't just kiss, she commands and melts in a single powerful gesture. At first, she leads. Boldly, with certainty. She kisses him with the clarity of intention, like she knows exactly what she wants from this moment and exactly how to draw out of him. And then just when he begins to follow, just when he's immersed in her lead, she surrenders, softly, willingly. And that shift, that sudden giving over, is what undoes him completely. Most women are taught to wait, to be kissed, to be led, to receive. But the truth is, men aren't just drawn to softness. They're electrified by contrast, by polarity, by the woman who has both fire and fluidity inside her. When you lead the kiss, at first, when you take initiative, not out of aggression, but out of purpose, it startles him in the most exhilarating way. It flips his expectations. He expects to pursue, to be the dominant presence, the one in control. But suddenly, here you are, taking that control gently in your hands and showing him a new kind of feminine power, one that doesn't beg, one that doesn't chase, one that invites and initiates. In that moment, your kiss tells him, "I see you, I want you, and I'm not afraid to reach for you." That bravery stirs something deep in his core. It challenges him. It wakes up the masculine instinct not just to dominate, but to merge. And then, just as he rises to meet your fire, you drop. You ease into surrender. You slow your pace, loosen your grip. Let him rise into the role he thought he would play from the start. But now, it's different. Because now he's not just leading, he's responding to a fire that you lit. He's moved by a surrender that feels real because it wasn't given blindly. It was earned. This is the secret most don't understand about desire. Surrender means nothing if it doesn't come after power. The woman who only ever surrenders risks becoming passive, unremembered. But the woman who leads first, even for a second, plants her signature into his memory. She shows him her confidence, her decisiveness, her hunger. And then, by surrendering afterward, she shows him something even more powerful, her trust. That shift from leader to lover is what breaks him open. That's when he goes weak. Why? Because it's rare. because it speaks to both his craving for mystery and his need to feel chosen. You lead and he thinks she's strong. You surrender and he thinks she chose me to be strong with. It plays into a core psychological truth about men. They want to be capable for someone. They want to feel they can contain, hold, and protect a woman who is otherwise uncontainable, a woman who doesn't need to be held, but lets herself be anyway. That is the deepest form of seduction. Not dependence, but voluntary intimacy. And when you kiss this way, first leading with confidence, then melting with surrender, it's more than arousing, it's disarming, because he never feels fully in control. He's caught between wanting to chase and wanting to receive. He's pushed off balance in a way that's not confusing but thrilling. You're not following a script, you're writing one in real time, and he's captivated by the plot. It's in the first few seconds, the way you part your lips first, the way you tilt your head slightly off center, the way you move in with purpose, that you send the signal, I know my power. You don't ask permission with your eyes, you state it with presence. And then once your lips have claimed their space, once your kiss has said, I see you and I want you, you let go. Just slightly. You soften, you pull back just enough to let him lean in. You shift the weight of control into his hands. You let him feel the opening. This isn't manipulation, this is communication through the body. And it tells him more than words ever could, that you are a woman of strength and choice, that your surrender isn't submission, it's poetry, it's a gift. And he will treat it with reverence because you've made it clear that it is not automatic, it is earned, deserved, responded to. And here's where it becomes unforgettable, because the kiss that starts in power and ends in surrender doesn't just affect his body, it shakes his sense of identity. He starts to see you not just as a woman he desires, but as a woman who moves him, who changes how he sees the act of connection. He doesn't just remember the taste of your kiss, he remembers how it made him feel like a man in a new way, strong, needed, chosen. And when he walks away from that kiss, he won't be able to name what just happened, but his body will remember. His chest will feel fuller, his ego will feel quieter, his thoughts will return to you at unexpected hours, not because of what you did, but how you did it. You kissed like a storm that led with thunder and left with rain, and now he's drenched in it, unsure of how to dry himself off, unsure if he even wants to. And when you understand how to kiss this way, you step into a level of feminine embodiment that most never reach. You realize that you don't have to choose between strength and softness, dominance and devotion. You can be both. You can lead and surrender, command and melt, ignite and release. And the man who receives that will never see another kiss the same way again. There is a moment in the kiss that doesn't just stir passion, it seizes control of his mind. And it happens the instant you take his lower lip between yours. It's such a small gesture, so subtle it could be missed by anyone watching, but the effect it has on a man is profound, because the lower lip bypasses his thinking brain and strikes directly at his primal wiring. It short-circuits his logic. It overwhelms his ability to analyze or perform. In that instant, he stops calculating. He stops controlling. He just feels. And what he feels is something close to surrender. Why the lower lip? Because it's symbolically and sensually disarming. His lower lip is the vulnerable part, the receptive part. It's not the assertive upper lip that initiates. It's the passive half of the kiss, the one that receives, absorbs, and yields. And when a woman deliberately, confidently takes that part between her lips, even for a moment, she's doing something quietly dominant, not aggressive, not forceful, but undeniably powerful. It sends a message. I'm not afraid of you. I want you. And I'll taste you on my terms. That sensation floods him. It pulls him out of the ego, the performance mindset, the roles he thinks he's supposed to play. It draws him into the body. into the now, into you. And that kind of presence, being snatched from the grip of his own head and dropped into raw sensation, is a high he rarely experiences. Most men live in the land of responsibility, of pressure, of decision making. But when you kiss him like this, when you trap his lower lip gently between yours, you momentarily take responsibility, and he willingly lets you. There's also a deep neurological trigger at play. The lips are one of the most sensitive erogenous zones on the body, packed with nerve endings, and the lower lip is especially exposed. When it's held, even softly, it activates more than just arousal. It activates intimacy, it signals closeness, it mimics feeding, nurturing, trusting. And when a man feels that from a woman, something strange happens. He doesn't just feel turned on, he feels safe. Safe enough to let go of the masks. Safe enough to not know what to do next. That's when he goes weak. Not in shame, but in surrender. And here's the magic. It's not just about the grip of the lips, it's about the contrast, the how. You don't clamp down, you hold, tease, release. Sometimes you linger, letting the softness of your lips envelop his. Other times you let your teeth gently graze the skin, not enough to hurt, just enough to awaken, and then you let go slowly, as if saying, I could have kept you here. I chose not to, but I might do it again. That kind of control, gentle, graceful. Feminine is devastating in its effect. Because here's what happens inside his mind. The moment you grab his lower lip, his thoughts race. He wonders what you're thinking, how far you'll go, what else you're capable of. And then suddenly, he's no longer in control of the pace. You are. You've stolen the rhythm. You've become the composer, and his only job is to respond, to catch up to a tempo you've already set. That's intoxicating for him, because in every other area of life, he's the one leading. But here, with your lips on his, he's the one being drawn in. This gesture also creates an emotional blueprint in him. Long after the kiss is over, he'll remember that moment, the feeling of being held, tasted, and released, the strange combination of vulnerability and arousal. He might not talk about it, might not even be fully aware of why it affected him so much, but his body will replay it in silence, in dreams, in flashes when he least expects it. And the truth is, this isn't just a physical act, it's psychological warfare wrapped in sensuality. It's you telling him, without a single word, I'm in tune with you. I know what gets past your armor, and I'm not afraid to go there. That kind of self-assured boldness stuns him, because it's rare. It's so rare for a woman to be that attuned to her own sensuality, that unafraid of expressing desire in a way that's both dominant and tender. And once he's tasted that, he'll crave it. He'll search for it in other kisses and not find it, because it wasn't just your lips, it was your presence behind them. What makes this technique so powerful isn't just the sensation, but the intentionality behind it. Anyone can kiss, but very few women kiss with purpose, with awareness, with the kind of focused attention that makes a man feel like he's the only one in the world in that moment. And when you grab his lower lip, you are showing him, not telling him, that you're not kissing out of habit. You're kissing with intention. You're kissing him, not just anyone. And that makes all the difference. Even more, it challenges him, because now he's no longer thinking about how to impress you. He's thinking about how to meet you, how to match your presence, your depth, your clarity. The lower lip lock doesn't just pull him into arousal, it pulls him into your energy. He starts to realize this isn't a casual encounter, it's a dance with a force he didn't expect. And whether he's conscious of it or not, part of him begins to shift from conqueror to collaborator, from leader to listener. This is the power of kissing with intent, of understanding the mechanics of the moment but going beyond them. When you use the lower lip lock with the right energy, confident, slow, inviting, you speak directly to the deepest parts of him. The parts that want to be seen without asking, the parts that crave feminine dominance but fear losing control. You let him lose control safely, with pleasure, with trust, and in that loss he finds something rare, freedom. When you kiss a man like this, he doesn't just feel pleasure, he feels something deeper than he can name. He feels owned but not possessed. He feels desired but not used. He feels like he's been given access to a woman who knows exactly what she's doing and exactly how to drive him mad without a single word. There is a kiss so soft, so subtle, it doesn't even require contact to ignite fire. It's not about pressure. It's not about movement. It's about breath. Warm, intentional, barely there air brushing against his lips, his cheek, his ear. This is the whisper kiss. And it's not just an act of physical closeness. It's the transmission of presence, of intention, of invitation without demand. When done right, it bypasses physical arousal and dives straight into the psychological. And that's where true seduction lives. Because breath, unlike touch, doesn't give, it suggests. And suggestion is the birthplace of obsession. Imagine the moment, your face just inches from his, lips not quite meeting, your breath warm against his skin. He can feel the heat of you, but not the pressure. He knows you're there, but he can't quite reach you. And you hold it there, hovering, not rushing, letting the suspense grow until it crackles like static in the air. This isn't avoidance, it's command. You're not pulling away, you're building tension. And that tension, it's irresistible, because what he wants isn't just your kiss, it's your surrender. And what you're showing him in this moment is that he doesn't get it by reaching. It happens when you decide to give it. There's a deep psychology to why the whisper kiss makes men go weak. One, it stimulates his most sensitive sensory field, his face, his neck, his ear. These are areas packed with nerve endings, but they're rarely touched with such deliberate softness. And two, it triggers anticipation, which is 10 times more addictive than fulfillment. It makes him yearn for contact, for confirmation, for permission to dive in. And when he doesn't get it immediately, he spirals in. He begins to imagine, to project, to crave. You've just turned his mind into your playground. But the real magic happens when your whisper kiss is not empty, when it's layered with breath and meaning, a soft word, a sigh, a subtle or I want to, half spoken into the space between you. When your lips hover at the edge of contact and you say something not loud enough to be clear, but just clear enough to haunt him. Now he's no longer focused on your body. He's focused on your intention. He wants to decode you, to understand what you're holding back, to reach for the meaning behind the moment. And in doing that, he falls under your spell. This is the kind of kiss that undoes the logical man, the man who is used to control, who is used to calculation, because nothing about the whisper kiss is logical. It doesn't make sense to feel this much from so little, to be so aroused by a breath. But he is. He can't help it. Because you've taken the lead with subtlety, with nuance, with grace, and that level of control is terrifyingly attractive. You're not begging for attention. You're choosing when to give it. And every second you withhold that final kiss, you grow larger in his mind. You become unforgettable. Here's the deeper truth. The whisper kiss is not about teasing. It's about presence. A woman who can do this is not in a rush. She's not focused on an outcome. She's in the moment, deeply and sensually rooted in the now. Her breath isn't just air. It's a message. I am here. I feel you. And I don't need to touch you to affect you. That kind of presence is rare. It's what makes men lose themselves in the memory of a moment they can't explain. It's what turns a single night into a lifelong fascination. And when you finally kiss him, after the breath, the hover, the whisper, it's not just a kiss anymore. It's a release of tension, of restraint, of emotional buildup. He's not just kissing your lips. He's drinking in the permission, the surrender, the response to everything you held back. And that's what makes it feel earned. That's what makes it powerful. Because you didn't just hand him the moment. You made him live in it, drown in it. Want it with a hunger he didn't even know he had. Even more, the whisper kiss creates something few women ever realize they can gift a man: silence that speaks. In that moment of hovering breath and half-spoken desire, you create a space where he doesn't need to be impressive. He doesn't need to talk, to perform. He just has to feel. And for men who are so often locked in the armor of doing, proving, conquering, that stillness is intoxicating. You give him space to drop his walls without asking. That's not just seductive, it's spiritual. This form of seduction also reveals a powerful emotional truth about you. A woman who knows how to kiss with her breath, her presence, her stillness, she is deeply in tune with herself. She is not afraid of being felt or seen or wanted. She doesn't need noise to validate her value. She knows that silence, used right, can be louder than screams. And when a man feels that confidence in your quiet, when he feels the intensity of your whisper kiss, he begins to wonder what else you're capable of, what other secrets your softness holds. And here's the thing, he won't just crave more, he'll respect you more, because in a world obsessed with fast, loud, and obvious, you chose slow, quiet, and intentional. You showed him the power of restraint. You showed him that you don't need to touch him, and that level of emotional and sensual intelligence, that's what haunts him. Not just your kiss, but the way you made him wait for it, the way you made him feel it coming in every breath, every inch, every unspoken word. So next time you're close, don't rush to touch. Pause, breathe, let your lips hover, let your breath tease his skin, let your words hang between you like fog, let him feel the storm in your silence, and when the moment is just right, then kiss him, not before. Not because you should, but because the space between you finally collapsed under the weight of everything unspoken. That's the whisper kiss. That's where seduction begins without a single touch. The moment you pull away is often more powerful than the moment you lean in. Most people never realize this. They think the kiss ends when the lips part. They think the magic lives only in the touch. But a woman who understands sensual psychology knows something deeper. The kiss doesn't end when it stops. It ends when the memory of it fades. And the slower you pull away, the longer you brand him with that memory. That final moment, that gentle, unhurried retreat, is what lingers in his mind, in his body, in his breath. That's the aftershock, and it drives him wild. Why? Because it breaks the rhythm, because it denies closure, and because it leaves space for longing to take root. When you pull away slowly, without a jolt or an awkward laugh or a quick step back, you're doing something he doesn't expect. You're staying present through the ending. You're not rushing to the next moment. You're savoring the last drop of the one you just created. And that is deeply, almost painfully seductive. It says, I'm not trying to escape. I'm not here for a result. I'm here for the experience, and I want to feel every last second of it. This signals something primal to a man. When a woman lingers, when her lips part from his, but her energy stays tethered, he feels claimed, not possessed, claimed, desired with precision. It's like being touched without hands, because now, even though the contact is broken, your presence still clings to him. Your scent is still there. The warmth of your breath is still on his skin. The echo of your mouth is still etched into his lip. You've kissed him, yes, but now you're haunting him, and there is no greater seduction than the kind that lingers. This aftershock is the part of the kiss where control shifts back. You see, in the kiss itself, especially if he was leading, he might have felt like he was in charge. He might have thought he was sweeping you into passion. But when you pull away, slowly, with softness, with calm, with unbroken eye contact, you quietly take the reins. You show him that this kiss didn't take you. You allowed it. You show him that you are the one deciding when this ends, and more importantly, how it ends. This subtle reclaiming of power stuns him because it's not defiance, it's elegance. It's the graceful retreat of a queen, not a girl backing away nervously, but a woman pulling back with the confidence of someone who knows the impact she just made. She doesn't need to rush to validation. She doesn't ask if it was good. She knows because she felt the shift in his breath, the tremble in his touch, the pause in his chest when her lips left his. She knows because he knows, and that's enough. But what truly drives him wild is the absence you create in that slow withdrawal. Absence is a powerful amplifier of desire. It makes the heart beat faster, not slower. And when you leave slowly, he doesn't feel relief, he feels hunger. The space you leave behind becomes an ache, a longing. He's left suspended in a state of incompletion, wondering what just happened and when it might happen again. And that uncertainty, when mixed with pleasure, is the most addictive sensation known to man. Your slow pull away also invites reflection. During the kiss, he's consumed with feeling. But when it ends slowly, he has time to process the feeling, to register what he just experienced. And what he realizes in that silence, in that space, is that something just changed. This wasn't just physical, it was emotional, it was mental. You didn't just stir his desire, you altered his emotional state. And the woman who can do that, she's unforgettable. There's also something deeply vulnerable about the moment right after a kiss. That's when walls are lowest, defenses are off, and the truth is written across the face. And when you pull away slowly, when you hold that moment instead of fleeing it, you create connection. Your eyes still locked with his, your breath still mingled, your presence still heavy in the space between you. You're not retreating, you're concluding. And that conclusion is what seals the experience into his nervous system. And here's the secret most never realize. The slower you end the kiss, the faster his mind starts spinning. Because that slow departure, especially if paired with a knowing smile, a subtle breath, or just a soft sets his thoughts on fire. He starts wondering what just happened, what it meant, what it says about you. He starts feeling things. And for many men, that's terrifying, but also addictive, because they don't often feel, not like this, not with this intensity, and now he can't stop. It's the same psychology behind a song that fades out slowly versus one that ends with a bang. The fade lingers. It doesn't tell you it's over, it lets you sit with the uncertainty. And that feeling, that lack of closure, creates memory. The same applies here. A kiss that ends with a bang might be impressive in the moment, but a kiss that fades out softly, slowly, intentionally echoes. It follows him into his car, into his sleep, into his thoughts the next day when he's trying to work. He'll touch his lips and remember and wonder if he'll get to feel it again. The slow pull away is also your final message. It's your signature. It says, you didn't just experience my kiss, you experienced my essence. You leave him not with confusion, not with awkwardness, but with awe. And if you've done it right, if you've built anticipation, led and surrendered, tasted his lower lip, whispered your desire, this final act of pulling away slowly becomes the moment that seals the entire experience into something sacred, something unforgettable. So don't rush to end the kiss. Let it dissolve, let it drift, let him feel the space widen second by second as you retreat, not as a disappearance, but as a final note in a symphony that he'll replay again and again in his mind. Because when you end with grace, with control, with depth, you don't just kiss him, you redefine what kissing means to him. You become the moment he compares every future kiss to. And no matter how many lips he touches after yours, he'll always remember the one that pulled away like that.